Lost kingdoms shimmer beneath the dust of time, but they're builders. Sweat still stains the earth. Africa's lost heritage digs where textbooks never go. Royal courts, rural fields, action blocks, battle lines. We uncover the hands that carved. Stone swung machetes, carried empires on their backs, then rose in rebellion to claim tomorrow. These are stories stolen, silenced, scattered. We reclaim. We retell, we resurrect, subscribe, and step into history's hidden heartbeat. Welcome back, friends. We are telling a story of courage, pain, and victory. It begins in Africa, crosses a wide ocean, and ends with a brand new nation called Haiti. Along the way, we will see how people who were treated as property found ways to rise up, join together, and claim their freedom. This video is for everyone, but we made the language simple so that anyone can follow every twist and turn. Sit tight. Keep your heart open and think about the choices you might make if you had lived in those times. First, let's understand what was taken. European traders stole more than gold, diamonds, and carved statues from African coasts. They stole living bodies and the years those bodies held, ship after ship. They tied men, women, and children in chains and forced them across the Atlantic. Ocean. On the far side waited plantations, huge farms that grew sugar, coffee, or cotton for European tables. Owners grew rich. Enslaved Africans grew weary, hurt, and angry. Yet inside that anger, there was always a tiny spark of hope, and hope can spread like wildfire. The record of open rebellion started early, 1526, at a place called Saint-Domingue, the coast of what is now South Carolina. Captives overpowered their guards, escaped into the forest, and ended the colony within months. Though Spanish soldiers wrote down very little, the rumor of that uprising drifted south and west, carried in whispers to dockyards and slave pens. It showed one powerful idea. People in chains did not accept their cages quietly. Further south, in Portuguese Brazil, runaways carved freedom into the rugged interior. They built hidden towns called quilombos. The greatest of these palmares lasted almost 100 years. It grew fields, forged weapons, and trained scouts who watched for enemy columns. Palmares' last leader, Zumbe, became a legend because he fought until the very end. For boys and girls stolen from Angola or Congo, the name Zumbi meant that bravery could outlive any empire. Across the Caribbean Sea, Jamaica's steep blue mountains sheltered communities called Maroons. These groups started with only a few people at a time, maybe. A mother carrying her baby. Maybe a pair of brothers slipping away at night, but they swelled into entire villages. Queen. Nanny of the Maroons is remembered for blowing a cow horn signal that told hidden fighters when to strike. British soldiers pushed through vines and rushing rivers, yet they could never catch her. Finally, in 1739, the British signed a treaty. Maroons kept their land, but they had to return future runaways. Even so, the treaty admitted one shocking fact: Britain could not win by force alone. That same year, on the mainland of North America, drummers near the Stono River rolled the largest slave revolt the British colonies had seen. Marchers hoped to reach Spanish Florida, where they believed freedom waited. Local militias cut them down. White leaders placed the heads of the rebel dead on poles to scare others. Instead of stopping the rebellion, the grisly display spread fresh anger. New laws tried to crush literacy, travel, and meetings, but whispers moved faster than patrols. During the 1760s, the island of Jamaica flared again. A man named Tacky and fellow Coromantee warriors seized guns, captured plantations, and declared they would rule the island themselves. Maroon trackers and British soldiers joined to end the uprising, yet the diaries of planters show how frightened they remained. One planter wrote that the entire system could crumble overnight if the stars align against us. Fear itself became a silent ally of the enslaved. In 1763, the Berbice region of modern-day Guyana watched flames rise. Led by a man called Coffidge, enslaved people took Dutch forts and ran the interior for months. Dutch ships finally returned, with more guns, food and cruel tactics like starvation sieges. Still, the story of Berbice proved that even a small group, with courage and timing, could shock a European empire. Across the riverlands of Suriname, Saramacca Maroons raided plantations for decades, forcing colonists to sign treaties that recognized their freedom. During the American Revolutionary War, news of European distraction carried new possibilities. In 1775, Lord Dunmore, the royal governor of Virginia, offered freedom to any enslaved man who fought for Britain. Thousands answered. They formed the Ethiopian Regiment and joined skirmishes. Disease killed many, but survivors traveled after the war to Nova Scotia and later Sierra Leone. They carried with them bold stories that liberty was not a dream, but a door that could open under the right pressure. By the 1790s, talk of revolt crossed every dock in the Caribbean. In 1795, on Grenada, Julian Fedna, a free man of mixed heritage, raised the French tricolor and nearly pushed Britain off the island. That same year, on Curaçao, an enslaved leader named Hugh did that French emancipation orders be honored, though both revolts were put down. They formed storm clouds circling one place, in particular Saint-Domingue, the richest sugar island on earth. Saint-Domingue sat on the western half of Hispaniola. It produced half of Europe's sugar and coffee, its wealth coated stylish cafes. In Paris, while its fields absorbed the blood of 500,000 enslaved Africans, these workers woke before dawn, cut cane under burning suns, and often collapsed before sundown. A set of laws called the Code Noir pretended to set humane rules, but mostly dressed cruelty in polite language. Overseers carried whips. Some also carried branding irons and shackles with spikes. People fought back in small ways, breaking tools, ruining crops, singing coded songs, and running into the mountains to form maroon camps. They also listened closely to the news. In 1789, word came that France itself had erupted in revolution. Free people of color, many born from European fathers and African mothers, asked for equal rights. White planters said no, fearing any change would threaten their profits. Tension twisted tighter and tighter. In late 1790, a light-skinned free man named Vincent Oge led a revolt demanding full citizenship for free blacks. Colonial officials captured him and broke him on the wheel in public. Instead of silence, Oge's death became a rallying cry. Meanwhile, priests in hidden groves combined Congo and Yoruba rites with Catholic saints. They spoke of an oath deeper than chains. At this point in the story, thousands had risen up against their oppressors. If you were living in Saint-Domingue back then, what do you think you would have done? Comment with your thoughts. We want to hear your perspective. On the night of August 14, 1791, leaders gathered at a place called Bois Kimon. Rain fell as a priestess offered prayers and a hog's blood sealed a pact. Within days, plantations would burn. 8 nights later, on August 22nd, fires rose along the northern plain. Sugar mills exploded. Barrels of rum fed angry flames within a few weeks. 200 plantations lay in ashes. Planters fled to fortified towns and begged France for troops. The Haitian Revolution had begun. Early rebel armies were organized under commanders like Jean-Francois, Yalsu, and Balcomandudi. Among them stood a driver named Toussaint Louverture, later called Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint studied European tactics, used the island's mountains and hurricanes as allies, desired one thing above all: permanent emancipation. Spain, which ruled the eastern half of the island, supplied guns to hurt its French rivals. Toussaint played both sides, always, asking which alliance best protected black freedom. In 1793, faced with spreading fires, French Commissioner Slurger, Félicite, Sonthonax, and Etienne Polverel abolished slavery in the colony. The French National Convention soon extended freedom to all French colonies. Toussaint then switched to the French side and led his soldiers against invading British forces and local royalists. By 1798, the British left the island. Beaten by disease and Toussaint's disciplined troops, the world watched, stunned, that men and women once forced to cultivate canfields now defeated redcoats. On open fields, Toussaint wanted order as well as freedom. He kept plantations running but paid workers' wages and banned whippings. In 1801, he wrote a new constitution, making himself governor for life and forbidding slavery forever. Across the Atlantic, Napoleon Bonaparte saw a challenge to French pride, and to the profits he hoped would fund future wars, he sent an expedition of more than 20,000 soldiers under his brother-in-law, General Leclerc, to regain control. Yellow fever and malaria ravaged French troops. Toussaint's strategy of scorched, earth-burning fields so invaders could not eat added to their misery. Still, the French managed to capture Toussaint through treachery and shipped him to a frozen mountain prison in France. He died there in April 1803. His last reported words warned that they had only cut down the trunk of the tree of liberty. Its roots were deep and would sprout again. Toussaint's lieutenants, including Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Alexandre Pichon, carried on the fight. Black, mixed race, and formerly enslaved soldiers united against the weakening French. On November 18, 1803, at the Battle of Vertières, Haitian forces charged with bayonets and forced the last French columns to surrender. On January 1, 1804, Dessalines declared the new nation of Haiti, taking an old Taino word meaning mountainous land. Haiti became the first black republic and the only modern country born from a successful slave revolt. Freedom had a price. Furious European and American powers placed trade embargoes on Haiti. Terrified, the example would inspire their own enslaved populations. France returned in 1825 with warships and demanded a huge indemnity, today worth billions as payment for the loss of white property. Haiti signed under the barrels of cannons, and the debt strangled its economy for a century. Yet, Haiti's victory lit torches. In the United States, rebels like Gabriel Prosser in 1800, Denmark Vesey in 1822, and Nat Turner in 1831 all cited Haiti in South America. Simon Bolivar found shelter and supplies in Haiti while planning campaigns against Spanish rule. Across the Atlantic, abolitionists argued that enslaved people were capable of strategy, sacrifice, and nation-building. Haiti also helped shake the so-called scientific racism. European writers who claimed Africans were inferior now faced a battlefield record showing Haitian troops had beaten some of Europe's finest. Historians later debated the exact role of Vodou, but surviving rebels insisted that spiritual unity, coded drum rhythms let distant fields move at once like a single organism. Women served as couriers, healers, spies, and sometimes Captain Sanette Belair fought alongside her husband, was captured, and faced a firing squad with unblinking eyes. Mothers hid bullets under market produce. Children crept through cane fields to report troop movements. The fight for freedom became a household task, shared across every age and gender. After independence, Dessalines divided the land among soldiers, but harsh leadership sparked plots. He was assassinated in 1806, and Haiti split into northern and southern governments. Still, its constitution offered citizenship to any black person who arrived. Ships bearing refugees from the United States, Jamaica, and even Poland found harbor there. Throughout the 19th century, plantation owners around the Caribbean patrols, banned drumming, and passed stricter slave codes. But the idea of Haiti would not die. In 1834, Britain ended slavery in its colonies, fearing violence in Cuba. Spanish officials imported more captives, hoping numbers alone could prevent revolt. In Brazil, the Malque Revolt of 1835 mixed Islamic scholarship with Haitian courage. During the U.S. Civil War, black regiments sang about Vertières. Later, Frederick Douglass served as the American ambassador to Haiti, argued that the Black Republic deserved respect equal to any European nation. In 1915, the United States occupied Haiti, claiming to stabilize it but mainly protecting business interests. Haitian guerrillas called Cacos fought back, led by Charlemagne Peralty, who invoked Louverture's mountain tactics before being betrayed and killed. In the 20th century, Pan-African leaders like Marcus Garvey and Kwame Nkrumah cited Haiti in speeches about global black pride. Nelson Mandela read CLR, James is the Black Jacobin while in prison, and said it proved that oppressed majorities could win today. Murals, songs, and online videos keep the names of Louverture and Dessalines alive. Every January 1st, Haitian families eat soup, jumu, a savory pumpkin dish once reserved for French masters. By cooking and sharing it, Haitians taste victory again. If this story moved you, and you want to connect even more deeply with Haiti's powerful legacy, try making a bowl of soup jumu, the dish that symbolizes Haitian independence. We've included a free recipe in the description below. Share it, cook it, and honor the strength of those who fought for freedom. The link to the recipe is in the descriptions below. Each August 23rd, the United Nations observes the day for the remembrance of the slave trade deemed its abolition, spotlighting Haiti's role. Digital archives translate old Creole petitions. And virtual reality tours let students walk the cobbled streets of Cap Haitian before the fires. Think of the Haitian fight as part of what scholars call the Age of Atlantic Revolutions. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, people in the 13 colonies, in France, in Ireland, and in South America all challenged royal rule. Yet Saint-Domingue was different. In Virginia, rebels fought to preserve slavery. In Paris, lawmakers spoke lofty phrases while financing slave voyages. Only in Haiti did the enslaved majority seize those phrases, flip them, and prove liberty could include everyone. That rara drum lesson kept beating long after muskets fell silent. After 1804, the new Haitian leaders faced the hard job of turning battlefield camps into a working state. In the north, Henry Christophe, once a stable boy, crowned himself King Henry I. He built the massive Citadelle La Ferrière on a mountain peak so cannons could deter any foreign fleet. In the south, Alexandre Pétion set up a republic with an elected senate. Both systems tried to restart exports because the treasury was empty. But they argued about who should control land, the army elite or the small farmer. Planting cane and coffee again required hands. So Christophe introduced a corvée system. Peasants worked part of each week on state plantations, receiving a share of the crop. Pétion divided large estates and gave plots to soldiers and families, encouraging small farms. Historians still debate which plan served freedom better. What mattered then was that Haitians, not foreigners, were deciding. In 1820, Christophe committed suicide during a rebellion. Soon after, Pétion's successor, Jean-Pierre Boyer, reunited the country under one flag. France, however, never forgot its lost colony. In 1825, King Charles X sent a squadron of 12 warships armed with 500 cannons. Diplomats presented an ultimatum: pay 150 million gold francs or face bombardment. That sum equaled more than Haiti's entire annual income for many years. Boyer, unable to fight the fleet, signed. Later negotiations reduced the debt to 90 million francs. But Haiti had to borrow from French banks at high interest just to start payments for over a century. A large share of every Haitian export coffee, timber, cacao sailed straight back to Paris as reparations to former enslavers, while money drained away. Ideas kept flowing outward. Haitian newspapers traveled in sailors' coat pockets to ports in Charleston, Veracruz, and Havana. Free black readers learned that a black-run state could print laws, hold elections, and build forts. Plantation owners reacted by tightening patrols, but they also felt an unease that could not be whipped away. British abolitionists used Haiti as proof that emancipation need not destroy trade. If anything, insecurity made slavery costlier than freedom. Debates in London coffee houses sometimes ended with the line, "Remember Haiti's bayonets?" During the U.S. Civil War, Northern politicians quoted Haitian history during congressional debates. Frederick Douglass told a white audience that Haiti was the original pioneer emancipator of the 19th century. Black soldiers of the 54th Massachusetts Regiment marched singing about Toussaint's daring. After the war, many Southern planters fled to Cuba or Brazil, hoping to rebuild their fortunes where slavery still lasted. They carried with them ghosts. Stories of Haitian machetes glinting in moonlight, stories that frightened overseers more effectively than any law. Freedom's music also crossed oceans. In New Orleans, Haitian immigrants blended French, African, and Caribbean rhythms that seeded early jazz in Cuba. Haitian drumming styles enriched carnival beats in Brazil. Capoeira circles honored Zumbi with chants set to the berimbau. Art does not respect borders, and neither does the memory of resistance. Each song, dance, or folktale whispered the same lesson. Oppression is not destiny. The 20th century brought new storms. U.S. Marines occupied Haiti from 1915 to 1934. Rewriting the Constitution so American companies could buy land, they built roads and hospitals, but forced peasants into chain gangs to work on them. Charlemagne Peralty led guerrillas who died there. Uniforms with indigon-carved wooden rifles to look real at night. When he was executed, occupying officers pinned his body to a door for a photo meant to break spirits instead. Haitians printed the image on handkerchiefs and waved them at rallies. After World War II, the global map changed again. Colonies in Africa and Asia demanded self-rule. Leaders such as Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana and Julius Nyerere in Tanzania cited Haiti when telling crowds that freedom might be delayed, but never denied. In the United States, the civil rights movement borrowed Haitian symbols. During the Montgomery bus boycott, some flyers showed a silhouette of Dessalines chopping down a column labeled Jim Crow. Modern technology carries the revolution into new arenas. Virtual reality. Developers have scanned the stone walls of the Citadel so students can walk its ramparts in headsets. Genealogists use DNA tests to trace Haitian families back to Yoruba. Away, or Mandinka ancestors, were once erased from plantation ledgers. TikTok educators compress battle strategies into 60-second animations with captions that read, "Muskets jam and rain Dessalines attacks." Each share, like, and remix is a tiny act of resistance, echoing the coded drums of 2 centuries ago. Scholars also shine light on hidden heroes, especially women. They rediscovered a spy network led by Marie-Jeanne Lamartiniere, who disguised her messages inside bread loaves. Excavations at the old Dessalines palace found jewelry beads beside musket balls, showing that elegance and warfare lived side by side. Classroom posters now place Sanat Belair next to Harriet Tubman in Mulan, teaching girls worldwide that bravery wears many faces. Haiti's sons and daughters have carried their culture wherever they migrate in New York City. Brooklyn streets fill with rara bands every Easter season. Trumpets echoing marches of old. In Montreal, restaurants serve soup jumu on January 1st, giving free bowls to anyone who walks in. London hosts Haitian film festivals where directors retell revolution through cartoons, so children who cannot yet read subtitles can still feel the fire. Diaspora remittances now make up a large share of Haiti's economy, proving that solidarity can cross oceans just as slave ships once did. Global calls for reparations have grown louder. In 2013, Caribbean heads of state formed the CARICOM Reparations Commission, noting Haiti's forced payments as Exhibit A of the greatest transfer of wealth in modern history. In 2022, a group of French economists issued a report valuing lost Haitian growth at over $100 billion. Students in Paris marched with banners that read, La dette est une injustice, qui nous lie à l'esclavage, meaning the debt is an injustice that ties us to slavery. Newspapers that once mocked Haiti now debate how to repay what was stolen. So, dear viewer, you have walked through centuries in a few minutes. What will you do next? Maybe you will read a short story by Edwige Danticator, watch a dance troupe, sway like a cane in the wind. Maybe you will speak up in class when someone calls Haiti cursed, and explain that curses grow from chains, embargoes, and myths never, from the determination of free people. History is a toolkit. The Haitian Revolution offers a hammer to smash despair, a compass pointing toward solidarity, and a drum whose beat reminds us that freedom once found could shake the world forever. Drop a word in the comments that captures how this story makes you feel: courage, fire, hope, or maybe simply freedom. Subscribe for more untold histories. Together we reclaim truths stolen by time. Just as Haiti reclaimed a nation stolen by chains, now that you know how the Haitian people fought for and won their freedom, what does this revolution mean to you? Today, leave a comment with a word or phrase that sums up what stood out most.